Thank you for joining me for another episode of Medutu Effect. The previous episode discussed energy. How does that play into the paranormal, metaphysical, magical? So let's start with something simple. There's a traditional text that says in order to create a golem, and this is I'm not talking about Lord of the Rings here, I'm talking about a creature that can carry out your wish with a specific purpose in mind. So you're supposed to roll up a scroll in your mouth, say the holy words, the tetragrammaton, and empower the golem with its purpose. And there's more to it, but the concept here I'm trying to convey is that just as much as I was talking about the grimoires and the crystals and the wands and the impression with the hand, with registering it with the fleur, you are transferring energy into an item. How often is there that favorite tree in the yard? When I was a kid, there was this huge oak that was out in the woods. I was infatuated with it to the point that a ward could be generated by it because I was creating such an impression into it, transferring energy. So, with that being said, wards, guardians, people have asked me, how do you create these things? Certainly, and you don't need a statue or crystal or anything. It could be something as simple as a wind chime. You can empower and transfer energy into just about anything because it contains energy from the time it was made to the time you decide to attach yourself to it. So with going into this a little bit more in depth, when you're making a talisman by hand, emphasis on by hand, so you make a talisman and you have its purpose in mind, and you keep that kind of focus the whole time you're making it. Whether you like it or not, that's what you're doing. There was a shop in Mobile, Alabama one time, a long time ago, 1986-ish. Anyway, it was called the Crystal Cavern. And inside of the glass case, there was all these different talismans with different purposes and whatnot. This guy came in and says, "What does this one do?" And the guy behind the counter turns around and says, "Well, what do you want it to do?" He goes, "Well, they have purposes on them." "Yeah, but what do you want it to do?" Because at the end of the day, that's what's going to empower it. So, yeah, there's talismans for specific purposes, and if you believe and empower it enough, it's going to carry out that duty. So, let's go into the paranormal side of things. Going into an environment that you're scared, you have anxieties, all these different things. You've seen too much TV. What happens is you start manifesting those things by projecting your will and projecting your energy. So you can go into a location where it's no activity, but because you're scared of it and what's going on, you actually start creating this whole atmosphere of not only negativity, but you also create and manifest your own entity to hunt. Talk about chasing your tail. So keep in mind that we are always projecting, manifesting different thoughts. This influences our universe around us. And I made a post on Facebook, which said, pretty much so, grow, manifest. these are things that we do on a daily basis. We're each individual, and whether it's art, music, burning incense, which brings me to another point in a second, you know, these things elevate ourselves and raise our energy levels. Now, incense, it's smoke. Okay, that's it. End of subject. Wrong. Incense actually carries a static field charge to it. There's actually been tons of papers and tons of research on it. So, and all over the world, the effects of smoke on a static field, on electronic components, transferring, acting as a conductor. So, different smells from the incense, or what you put into it, can do that same thing to you, heighten your senses, elevate certain energy levels, and around you. So just because you see someone burning incense, don't blow it off as a bunch of smoke. It's actually proven science that smoke, in general, has a static field to it and can transfer energy. Now, there's always the belief that, you know, if you're smoking a cigar during a ritual, the smoke dissipates and goes to the airs and contacts other spirits across the veils. Well, because it disappears. Well, who's to say it's not entirely wrong? But let's look at your incense that you're burning. This is something, if you make your own, like I do, which can be found at the Broom Closet. Shameless plug, but yes. I make my own with a specific purpose in mind. Sometimes I follow traditional recipes, and sometimes I experiment and make my own blends. These blends help me. That may not help you. You may prefer to burn patchouli all the time, or musk, or, you know, whatever the case may be. But it heightens your senses and elevates you. It may calm you, but either way, it has an effect on the energy level. So, just once again, keep in mind, energy in general can be transferred by many means. Thought, action, touch, senses, from the smell, and by sight. Music has the same effect. Just a quick side note to add to the previous one is that energy, we are all energy in one shape, form, or another, can be measured through frequency and even through the verbal actions that we carry. We can transfer energy. Action follows thought. So, incense, grimoires, wands, physically touching items, whatever the case may be, we can utilize these to transfer energy. Chanting, drinking mead, yes, that elevates energy levels, but with a specific purpose in mind. Okay, just want to give a quick shout out. Once again, Occulticon. Going to be there. I'm going to be speaking on primarily these subjects, but a little bit more in detail. So hope to see you there. And we got Broom Closet. Wonderful, wonderful place to go. Maybe I'm a little biased because some of my wands and incense are in there, but still, major shout out to Donna, and Raven, and Jenny, and Jared, and the whole crowd. It is a family. Then we have Practical Magic up in Saskatoon. extremely knowledgeable, very community oriented, has some great events. So much love to everybody. And once again, I mentioned it on Facebook. If you have a store or an event or something that you want me to pop up here, just let me know. Send me some information. Until next time, thank you for watching Medu2O.